Hello. For this video, I will be showing you the basic blocks for EC sword sport. For this example, I'll be using a red foam sword so it's more easily visible on the video. Now we've already shown the cutting drill, and if you're not certain, please go watch that video in conjunction with this one. The cutting drill for EC sword sport is roughly the same as that of Heidong Gondo. The major difference is that we do not include the light cut in our normal practice, but we do sometimes for stamina practice. When dealing with any sort of vertical cut, including the left, right, and triple cuts, we will usually use a head guard by pushing up with the guard of the sword. Now keep in mind, right hand is always up near the guard, left hand down by the pommel of the grip. Push up with the guard so that the blade is over your forehead. If you push with the guard exactly at your forehead, the center of strength is too far off and you're leaving your hands too exposed to the attack. It can be a little difficult, but do your shoulder stretches and practice guarding this far over on this side, and for the opposite side head guard, this far over. In both cases, you want to make sure that your arm is maybe not perfectly squared, but bent in such a way that it doesn't obstruct your vision. Likewise, the sword should not be so low as to block your vision, otherwise it's also so low that the guard is not effective. Next, the easiest guards, the shoulder guards. A simple push to each side, rotating the shoulders, rotating a little bit of the back. Do not go so far as to face in that direction. For every guard, you should still be facing towards your opponent. The next guard, arguably the most difficult, the shoulder guard supine. For this, you have to follow the correct step-by-step process. You drop the tip of the sword, and with your left hand down by the pommel, you will pull up, leading the right hand. You'll end up with your sword on your side with the point pointed down. Literal definition of supine. The idea for this guard is you're blocking an extremely heavy attack and you need the physical power to push it back with your left hand in a more advantageous position. This guard can be slow, so it's not recommended for most attacks to your shoulder. But if you can see it coming and it's coming heavy, this guard can prove quite useful. It can also lead to a very interesting counterattack whereby you pull with the left hand and pull straight back into the on guard position or a center cut. For the opposite side, the old method was to again drop the point and pull up in such a way that your wrists crossed and you blocked on this side. But as you can see, there's a lot of difficulty to the angle. The left hand can't grip as well, and there's a lot of potential to block your own view with your arm. While we do still encourage practicing that for the sake of mastery and for the sake of speed, an alternate version is to drop the tip, pull up into the right side supine guard, then with your left foot, your back foot, step behind yourself to what is currently your right side, pulling your body from the hips up through the upper body, over in that direction to block an attack coming from the opposite side. Again, these are slow blocks. They take a lot of practice to master, so by all means, take it slow the first few times, and they are meant for blocking heavy attacks. Next, for the lower half of the body, the hip blocks. Drop the tip first, then simply push. Drop, push. And lastly, of the official guards, what's called the knee guard, for people attempting very sneaky attacks towards very low targets, such as your ankles or toes. Because keep in mind, any part of the body hit with the sword counts as a point in this sport. You drop the tip, you bend your knees slightly. Do not bend your back over. This sacrifices balance, view, and risks the muscles of the back. Drop the tip, let the knees adjust the height. Then push over the same way you would for the hip guard. For the supine guard, hip guard, and knee guard, I must stress it is important to drop the tip first. Many people attempt to go immediately into the position. The problem being, if you're getting an attack towards the chest or a thrust towards the hip region, simply hopping over to the position means you've hopped over the attack. Depending on the angle of cut or the thrust, just putting yourself in that position doesn't actually block the attack. So you want to commit to your muscle memory the idea of drop the tip, then guard. Drop, then guard. So please practice these guards slowly in proper sequence before you try to do them quickly. It is so much harder to unlearn a bad habit than to simply have a good habit from the beginning. Now, in order for the official blocking drill, head guard on the right, come back to on guard. Head guard on the left, come back to on guard. Right shoulder guard, on guard. Left shoulder guard, on guard. Right shoulder guard supine, on guard. Left shoulder guard supine with the step, on guard. Right hip guard, on guard. Left hip guard, on guard. Right knee guard, on guard. Left knee guard, on guard. Practice through that sequence in your daily practice, and you're on your way.